Hey, Dave, it is time for your
6 unseemly questions.
Yeah, but before that, we always give you a question at the top of the show.
Trivia, yes.
Sometimes it's trivia, sometimes it's questions about me or things about the show. Like, remember when you missed that question, you didn't know who our first guest was?
Which is kind of like trivia still.
But here's your question for today's show, Dave. Are you ready?
I am well prepared.
If you had to drink your own pee to survive, would you do it?
I would do it if I had one of those pee converter things that they're making for the moon.
If you had a pee converter? So you could drink your own pee after.
It recycles it into water and then you just pee more.
But if you didn't have a pee converter, you would die rather than drink your own pee?
I'm pretty sure you would die from drinking your own pee anyway. You're
not correct at all about that. People drink each other's pee all the time. It's very sexy to some people. Anyway,
do you know any of those people by any chance?
I will introduce you later. Let's get started with the show. Everybody check us out at 6 Unseemly on all social media on unseemlyquestions.com. Let's get the show started.
6 Unseemly Questions!
Welcome to 6 Unseemly Question. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Paul Hooper. Come on up, Paul. All right. Nice to see you, Paul. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. All right. We have a great studio audience, ladies and gentlemen. It is Christian Finnegan and Rachel Teichman. Thank you both for coming to the show.
It is such a pleasure to be here. Oops. There I am.
I'm so happy to have you. We're ready to do this.
Studio audience.
So I'm going to tell you how the show works, Paul, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I will ring a bell if I like your answer, like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring a bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get at the end of the show, we'll decide whether or not your answers or your appearance on the show is worth giving you $5 whole. Are you ready?
All right.
All right. It is time for question number 1. Question number 1. How would you use time travel?
How would I use it? Wow. I always feel like comics talk about this a lot, and I never give it any thought whatsoever because it's so preposterous. So
it's going to be a tough question for you.
Yeah, it is. What would I go back in time and do? And could I just not do it?
You mean you would just not use time travel?
I feel like that's the only way to be original about it. So
you could also
turn it down.
You could time travel and then just tell yourself to not to time travel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say? That's worth the bell. That's a great answer. And I just not use it.
Can you imagine being like Paul's wife and then just seeing this like machine with a tarp over it in the basement and be like, hey, what is this? Oh, that's my time machine. You had it this whole time? You've had a time machine? Motherfucker.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I mean,
People have so many ideas about what they do, so I'm already annoyed. I'm like, I'm out. I don't want to do it.
All right. Okay. Well, great job on that first question. It's time for question number 2. But before we do that, would you tell everybody out there what you do?
What I do?
Yes, this is a game show where we ask contestants what they do.
For a living?
Sure.
Or for fun, whatever you like.
Whatever I do, I don't do much. I'm a shut-in. I like that. I like worrying. I worry a lot. That's what you're asking. Yeah, I'm obsessive compulsive. I'm very OCD, and that's my thing. Fixating on things.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, the entire cast of our show has a myriad of social and mental conditions. Just
it's
saying
true.
That we do.
It's true. You guys do.
Whoa.
Christian's fine. Great.
Girl, you're fine.
The therapist here says all of us have problems.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, she has a master's in was it?
And a license. I am licensed.
What's it called? The
social media.
I'm a licensed
what are the letters?
Social work. LMSW.
Licensed master social work. Yeah. Okay,
I like
whatever.
That acronym. It's tough.
That's great. Licensed master social work, but she loses at pool constantly. All right. It is time for question number 2. Question number 2. On a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive do you think you are?
4.
4?
A 4.
What?
Yeah. 4.
Do you have like a terrible personality?
No, as far as physical, no, I don't think so. But I think you really got to get to know it. You got to get in there a few weeks, and like first day, not a good personality. First impressions, not good. And I think I have a deep voice. I have a bad resting face, and so I don't smile a ton. But I mean, like it seems more severe than it is. But so I think bad first impressions, but a few weeks in, good personality. Then as far as my face goes, I just have sort of a sleepy turtle head, I think. And like without I squint, I don't open my eyes a lot. So I think, that takes, and I'm short, which takes a lot away. I'm 5'7". So, I lose a lot there.
You know what? This question was so painful to hear the answer. I wish I hadn't asked it.
And I gotta say, I disagree. When we came on, I wasn't actually even sure that was Paul because I see you once, like every 2 or 3 years or whatever. Yeah. And I haven't seen you out, and you are markedly better looking now than you were when I met you.
You have straight up Ryan Reynolds vibes going on.
You have like you could be like a model, but like a shitty model, like not a bad model, but like a model for like Sky Mall. Or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you have like a Mike Rowe sort of everyman handsome quality, I think.
Sky Mall, not the biggest brand. I mean, not the coolest brand, but recognizable. So that's pretty good.
I'll absolutely take it.
Couldn't you see like Paul like holding a rake like in an ad?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like vividly.
All right. I'm in. This is better.
I have the same problem too with people. I have the resting face as well, and everyone thinks I'm mad all the time, and I'm not. I'm like, I'm fine.
He also has a thing called moving face.
Why do you say such bad words?
It's all together. You know what? I'm going to say no bell on that question. What? I'll tell you why. I'm going to say no bell on that question because the answer made me feel sad. So, there you go. I felt sad, a little sad. So I'm not going to give a bell on that question.
I opened up, vulnerable, all that. Nothing.
I think that's great. I really appreciate it, actually. But, sometimes opening up, being vulnerable means real feelings.
Okay.
Victor's not a fan of the new sincerity.
It is now time for question number 3. Question number 3. What's the most extreme manifestation of your OCD?
Wow, it keeps changing. So there's, I have a thing where like my OCD is checking out of hotel rooms. That's when I have been able to shake. When I leave a hotel room, I have to look under the bed. It takes 30, 40 minutes to get out. I fear that I'd left something behind. So sometimes I've left a hotel and then driven back, asked for the room key after I've checked out. Like I was in room 415. Can I go? I think I left my phone charger, knowing I didn't, but I just go back in to inspect under the bed again. And I waste an hour or two doing that. I've done that many times. It's not that extreme, but it's one I can't shake as far as my OCD.
So I'm sure you have a lot of this. Like when I was growing up, and I didn't, I thought I knew what OCD was, but I didn't know what OCD was until I've had a friend who has OCD, and then now I've been, educated about what OCD actually is. And so, is it a lot of misunderstanding about OCD, like because some people say it took you an hour to get out of the hotel. Come on, like they would never believe that would happen. Does that happen?
And it's gotten. I like to think some things have gotten better and some have gotten worse. Like that one, I can't shake. That one's been there forever. And then other things like checking the oven, a very common OCD, making sure the burners are off. I've gotten better with that one. I've gotten better with door locks, but still with door locks, I'm checking 5 times more than an average person. So I don't know if it's truly gotten better, but yeah, people don't really think it's a thing. I think they think you're doing it as a joke in front of them or like, but yeah, it's happening when no one's watching, where I'm worse when no one's watching because I have more time and there's not a pressure.
I also think that people everybody has affectations, especially in their early teen years, that look like OCD because they're faking it. Like for like 6 months, I had this weird thing where if somebody threw a cigarette in the street, I would have to go step on it. And I would, again, kind of performing it in a way. Like, and then one day I was like, I don't have to, what am I doing? Like, stop trying to be interesting. And so I think because people are full of shit, they assume you must be as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have friends that like will pull me out of hotel rooms and stuff like that. And it really torments me. They'll just like physically move me. Like we have to go. And I get what they're trying to do, but yeah, mine is not crippling. Like it depends if I'm driving or flying. So I'm in a hotel room and I got an extra hour or two because I'm driving to the next gig. But if I'm flying, you got to be there. I've never missed a flight because of my OCD. So I make that choice. It hasn't. I always feel like I'm still not like crippled by it, but it is not healthy, and I've wasted a lot of time.
I understand. That was a very good answer. All right, so get a bell. Congratulations on that bell.
Thank you. That feels good.
It is now time for question number 4. Question number 4. Name something Dukey related that rhymes with your name.
Pooper.
Yes, that is correct. It is Pooper. Congratulations.
Yeah. People used to give me that nickname in school. Hall.
I bet.
Hall for the Pooper Scooper. That was it. So
Did you like it or dislike it?
It just was corny
how
to
old?
me. That's the thing. They're always corny. Middle school, Paul Hooper, the Pooper Scooper. Then they also, if you switch the first letter, my first and last name, it's Hall Pooper. And I hate when people are so impressed by their own joke.
Do you think Victor's Paul Pooper joke is impressive? That he just did to you?
Is that do I or Victor?
Yeah, you.
Do I what?
Like Victor's Pooper joke.
Which one? I didn't hear it. What?
Oh, I love it when you bring
Would
the
you-
show to a complete halt, Dave. It's my
Would you
favorite.
ever-
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Would you ever consider
what he
being
asked
the
you.
spokesperson for Pooper Scooper?
It depends on the paycheck. Yeah, I mean, for $1,000, no. For $50,000, yes.
Does anyone ever call you Hoops?
I'm so sorry
Hoops.
that, I just want, if I can talk to my staff for just one second. Dave and Rachel, okay.
Mhm.
I love you both on the show,
We love you.
but let's keep it moving, shall we?
Just quickly though, can we find the exact dollar amount? Can we really haggle down like what would be? You said for 1,000, no. 50,000, yes. What about 10,000? Would you do it for 10,000?
I mean, how long does this campaign go on? Is this just a one-off commercial?
No. It's like some billboards, a couple commercials, 6 months.
6 months.
6
30
months.
grand. 30.
30 grand. All right, there
Okay.
you go. If
All right.
you're
30.
from the Pooper Scooper organization.
Now, Christian, if you are also done, okay, can we get to question number 5? All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for question number 5. I apologize for all of that, Paul. Question number 5. Would you sacrifice yourself for the world?
Yeah, I go ahead and do that.
Really? Just like any scenario of that?
Well, I'm like, I don't think so early on, maybe, but I'm 46. So, yeah, if it saved the world, yeah, I could go ahead and take a dive. I could go ahead and do it. I mean, I wouldn't really look forward to it, but, I would do it. Yeah.
Do you're saying you wouldn't look forward to it? Do you imagine it would be painful?
I mean, yeah, you'd have to specify. Am I going to be tortured? Is that the way I'm going out? Like Braveheart, sort of?
Let's say it was really painful. It was just like for
Skinned
a week.
alive.
For a week, bugs walked up and took one bite out of you.
And you
For
have
like
to
a
clarify,
week.
it saves the world forever or it just saves them at this moment,
It's a good week. The world has a very good week. So for
Without
that
you.
week, there's no pain, no death. Everyone has what they need to survive their life. So
It's gonna
what
be
they
awesome.
do from that
if in a
point,
week
what
they
they do from
back
that
to
point,
normal and everybody dies and they're in pain again, I don't know if that's enough for a
no,
week.
what they do from that point is up to them. But for that week, everything is
One
reset.
bonus
On that
week.
week, everything is reset
nice.
to perfect, and then it can degenerate, or they can live a perfect life from there. It's up to humanity.
No,
Would you
I can't help
sacrifice
them
yourself
with
for
this.
that?
No, I will not. No, I'm out.
One clarification: are they all aware that it's Paul that has saved them?
Right. Good point.
Oh, so is there like they're going to be Paul parades later on?
Celebration.
Yeah, everybody would know. Everybody would
let's have a
sing your
party.
praises and be like, "It's
A
the
Paul
legend
party.
of Paul Hooper, the man who gave his life." It would be.
We
There's
can
lots of things.
party for a
That
week.
whole legacy thing, but I don't think you get to enjoy it from the sky, right? I don't know if you get to look down and sort of see all
That's
this.
actually really hard to say.
No,
You
it'd
don't
be like
know.
dying an
I
artist.
mean, what
and
happens
then-
after dying? That's a big one.
They would change your nickname to Paul Hooper, the Super Duper.
Thank you. Finally. After all the awful commercials I've done and everything, this would erase it.
So, are you sticking with the yes or no? You sacrifice yourself for the world in under
If
those
it's all-
circumstances.
If it's only for a week, no.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
oh.
I'm going to say no bell on that question.
Oh, damn.
Because
See?
you let the world, you wouldn't sacrifice yourself for the world. You let the world, I mean, I guess die. Way to
No,
go,
I
Paul.
would to make major change, but if it just postpones it 7 days and it goes back to the same old shit, then I don't know if that's worth me being tortured for a week or something.
But it resets so everybody has a chance to be in a perfect world, and then it's up to them to continue making the world perfect.
Ha ha, cat butt.
I'm back in. I
your
want the bell.
face.
I'm back in. I'll do it.
Oh, you're back in?
Yo, you're back in. Nice.
Still no
I'm back
bell
in.
because you had the same choice
He's
earlier.
back in. Give him the
The
bell.
only difference
get
is
the
your
bell.
want of the bell. No, no bell. Still no bell. I'm
This
sorry.
man
That,
died for you, and
that
you're not
ship
going
is-
to give him a bell.
that ship has sailed.
Indecisive.
But I will sing the legend of Paul Hooper forever and ever.
Thank you.
It is now time for question number 6. Question number 6. How long would you survive in the wilderness?
Right now, I think I could make it 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the wilderness.
2 weeks.
Overly optimistic, by the way. I think probably a week realistically, but I'd like to think 2 weeks I could do it.
I mean, what do you how would you survive? Like, do you know anything about survival? I mean, obviously you don't
Fishing?
think you don't think that you're great at it because you think you'd be dead after 2 weeks. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've watched some shows, but I didn't retain any information about, how to save yourself if you fall in a cold river and how to warm yourself back up. And I don't really know how to hunt. I would just have to be the willingness to, all right. I don't think, since I have no skills, I would die within a week.
Okay. I understand that you don't have any skills, but you don't think that you have enough knowledge that you could figure out how to start a fire and cook a rabbit in 2 weeks?
You got to catch a rabbit first.
You got to catch it. And then also, too, eating berries. You don't know what's good or bad.
You can eat some poison berries.
Poison berries. And then if you eat the rabbit, also think about, you don't cook a rabbit thoroughly. Who knows what it's got? Mange, rabies.
Cooties.
You don't cook it.
All right.
But
And
would
then
you
you get
drink
food
your own
poisoning
pee?
in the woods. That's it. It's curtains for you.
It's lights out, buddy.
All right.
And also that's 2 weeks. The 1 week you'd be dead would be our party week. So it works out perfect. You know what I'm
Also,
saying?
you don't know what water to drink. I don't know if I see a
Well,
stream. Can I
Would you drink
that?
your own pee?
Yes, I would.
Rachel.
I've done that.
Rachel.
I've done that many times.
And you it's okay? You don't die from that?
Well, I was drunk back in the day. I didn't swallow a ton of it, but I did drink some, I think just one time out of a dare and stuff like that. So I've done it.
And you put it in a pint
Then drink
glass,
a
and it's hard to distinguish.
Okay, so for the question, how long would you survive in the wilderness? I'm going to say Bell. I'll tell you why, because it was honest. All right, so you've answered all 6 questions. That was great. Now it's time to decide whether or not you get $5. But before we do that, can you tell people out there where they can find you?
Yeah, paulhoopercomedy.com. Instagram is Paul E. Hooper. And then Twitter at Paul Hooper.
Awesome. Wonderful in many ways, because it's all your name.
All my name.
Great
all
stuff.
That's it.
Not a
That's
coincidence
simple.
either.
So it's time to decide whether or not you get $5. So what we usually do is we canvass the room. First of all, what do you think, Dave? Should Paul get $5?
Yeah, I think Paul told us a lot about drinking pee, that it's cool. I had no idea. And he said he's done it a lot of times, so that was good.
All right.
I like all the other stuff that he said about going online. So, yeah.
All right. So that seems like a vote from Dave. What do you think, Rachel? Should Paul get $5?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit surprised about how he answered the "how attractive do you think you are" question. And while it made me sad to hear his answer, it was also incredibly humble. And
it made you sad too.
Yeah, it also made me sad. But despite that, he's very humble, and so you should give him the $5.
All right. Very an advocate. There we go. What do you think, Christian? Should Paul get $5 for his
give
appearance
him
on
the
the show?
$5, but only as a down payment on the Paul Hooper Pooper Scooper ad campaign. Just to put him on retainer for it. No, I think clearly he has earned the $5.
All right. And by the way, if I do give you $5, there will be no conditions on it. Okay, Paul?
Okay, great. Just my $5.
And you're the last person that we need to ask, Paul. What do you think? Should we give you $5 for your appearance on the show?
And be honest.
Yeah, I believe so, because I gave honest answers, and I was, very hard. I exposed myself, very vulnerable, and I put everything out there that I could. Answered in the most detailed way I could. Long answers. Maybe that's, but yes.
All right. I'm going to say no $5. I'll tell you why. Life ain't fair. That's the way it goes, Paul. Life ain't fair. But you're great on the show. Thank you so much. Wonderful. We just need to wrap up by finding out, Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
I learned that sometimes I worry that the coffee pot's on and I want to go back home. And sometimes I left the door unlocked. But I just keep going. And from what Paul said, it's a thin line from standing there. He knows what I'm talking about. All right. Yeah. Good job, everybody. Thank you.
All right, Dave. Very insensitive. Okay.
I am being honest. I am being honest.
Everybody, please check us out at 6 Unseemly on all social media at unseemlyquestions.com.
Starbane's Audio, a podcast network.